New report reveals full extent of UK's EV discounts as dealers slash thousands off cars. Now, I thought this was really funny. There's a bit at the bottom which I want to come to. HSBC publishes study on impact of EV discounts. Research finds average discounts in the UK stood at 12.8% in January. Again, I would have to argue with that, because what's happening is that the dealers are registering or pre-registering brand new EVs and then advertising them the same day as used EVs with massive discounts. So they're actually hiding the real amount of the discounts. They're disguising it. The figure is well clear of other European markets, with Cupra Born the most discounted EV. This is Jack Williams, February the 3rd, 2026. The UK is offering some of the biggest EV discounts of any major European market as car makers battle to comply with ZEV mandate targets. A new study by HSBC Bank has found that the average discount offer on an electric car in the UK was a whopping 12.8% in the first month of 2026. The first month. As I say, you look on Auto Trader and not only have the pre-registered vehicles and selling them as used already in January with a massive discount, they're also advertising brand new vehicles and pretending they're used. They're trying to raise the average of the discounting by advertising brand new cars as used ones. So Auto Trader's algorithm thinks, oh yeah, 2026, well, that's not a bad price they're selling that used vehicle for, when actually it's brand new. And all they're doing is cocking Auto Trader up and everybody else who searches Auto Trader. Europe's biggest car market, Germany, where the average stood at 10.2%, and it is clear that the government's targets are continuing to take their toll. Well, take their toll, that's a funny way of phrasing improving EV sales. Take their toll. The study reported in the Times over the weekend also found that the Cupra Born was the most discounted EV, with an average of 26.5% knocked off the list price. That was followed by the Dacia Spring, already the cheapest EV in Britain, which was discounted by an average of 23.5%. Cheapest EV in Britain, and they're having to knock almost a quarter off it when it was already the cheapest EV in Britain. Analysts also found that the Volkswagen ID.4 attracted reductions of 21.8%. A Volkswagen with 21.8% off, rounding off the top three. A Volkswagen discounted like that. Elsewhere, HSBC's experts found that used EV prices continued to tumble in January, dipping 7.4% in the opening month of the year. But hang on a second. I've just read a report by, was it Picasso, where they didn't say, they said how much the petrols and diesels were doing and going up, but they just said that electric vehicles showed signs of stabilising. So, dipping by 7.4% in the opening month of the year, when petrols have gone up, that's stabilising, is it? Or could it be that somebody's telling a few porkies? At the same time, plug-in hybrids fell by 4.5%. And diesels were 2.7%. The only powertrain to see a rising price were petrols, which rose by 1.5%. What's 1.5 and 7.4? 8.9. So is it right to say that EVs fell 8.9% more than petrol? Is that correct? Despite the measures, analysts said the discounts were unlikely to have any benefits to customers. Now please listen to this. Adding, where the car maker cuts list prices to make the vehicle attractive for customers, that's new customers, If the projected residual value of the vehicle goes down by the same amount, there is no benefit to the customer. So as I said before, the government gave away the taxpayers' money. It doesn't make a difference. All it does is waste the taxpayers' money. Don't make any difference to the EV because the customer pays less for it, but gets less when he comes to sell it. All they've done is wasted 12.5 pensioners' winter fuel allowance payments of 300 quid so that somebody can go and buy themselves a new EV. Doesn't that make you all warm and fuzzy? The person up the road who's just got a grant on his new EV is, well, a pensioner up the road who's sitting with a big blanket over them. That's our government for you, and that's the people who buy EVs. Why don't the people who buy EVs, because they're not worried about cost, they just want to save the planet, why don't the people who buy EVs get that £3,750 that they've saved and give it to an OAP's charity? Why don't they do that? Because they're not worried about saving. It's not about saving money, is it? This is the funniest bit. The report comes after a study by Startline Motor Finance found that most UK car dealers expect manufacturers to meet current ZEV mandate targets. Most dealers. They surveyed 60 dealers. Most. They don't believe me? This is the story. Almost 6 out of 10 dealers expect 2026 ZEV mandate target to be met. 23rd of January 2026. Almost 6 out of 10, 57%. Used car dealers expect the zero emission vehicle mandate for the new year to be met, according to new research. 57% of used car dealers, so they're not even selling new, used car dealers, they've no idea, all right? Haven't got a clue. They're not selling new. They don't know. There's no way they can know. But they anticipate the government's zero emission vehicle mandate target for the new year will be achieved. However, a net plus 70% say more support is needed in the new electric vehicle EV sector and plus 74% for used EVs. So these used car dealers say that the new electric vehicles need support and used ones. So you can't sell new, and even when they come back, they know you can't sell used ones unless they're cheap, unless they're supported. Also, a net plus 44 believe the government will soon have to revise its ZEV mandate targets, shows January Startline used car tracker. January Startline used car tracker also shows that 44% of respondents believe the government will soon be forced to revise their targets, and 20% that those for the rest of the decade are unachievable. Paul Burgess, CEO at Startline Motor Finance, said final figures hadn't yet been released, but it appeared the 2025 ZEV mandate car target had probably been missed by a handful of percentage points, despite the introduction of substantial new car grants by the Treasury, alongside widespread discounting and pre-registration from the manufacturers. Against that backdrop, it's perhaps a little surprising that so many dealers are feeling optimistic. The 2026 target of 33% will be met. However, other indicators in our research have shown an improvement in sentiment among retailers towards electric cars in recent months, and this finding is probably a reflection of that trend. So it's surprising that so many dealers are feeling optimistic. They're used car dealers. Used car dealers are feeling optimistic. I can't go on with any more of this absolute shite, absolute crap that's been quoted in a serious story about depreciation by car dealer. So let's just go to the bottom. Compiled monthly by APD Global Research, well known in the motor industry for their business intelligence, reporting and customer experience programs, the Startline used car tracker this month questioned 303 consumers and 60 dealers. So 57% of 60 used car dealers, that's 31. think that we're going to hit the ZEV mandate. Please, don't be quoting these people. That is moronic. That's moronic. And in here, in car dealers, new report reveals full extent of UK's EV discounts as dealers slash thousands off cars. And then here, despite the measures, analysts said the discounts were unlikely to have any benefits to customers, adding, where the car maker cuts list prices to make the vehicle attractive for customers, if the projected residual value of the vehicle goes down by the same amount, there is no benefit to customer. The report comes after a study by Startline Motor Finance that most UK dealers expect manufacturers to meet current 31 dealers. This is why the motor trade is in so much trouble. Stories like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.